The room fell silent as Ethan stood up, his chair scraping against the wooden floor like a thunderclap in the midst of the lively family reunion chatter. His hands trembled, gripping the edge of the table, as he locked eyes with his best friend, Marcus, who sat across from him, oblivious to the bomb about to drop. "I can't hide this anymore," Ethan said, his voice cracking but resolute. "Marcus, I've been in love with you for years, and I need everyone here to know the truth about who I am." The words hung in the air like a noose, tightening around the necks of his conservative family members gathered in the spacious backyard of his parents' suburban home in upstate New York. His mother, Diane, dropped her fork, the clatter echoing as her face drained of color, while his father, Robert, a stern retired military man, clenched his jaw so hard Ethan could see the veins pulsing in his neck. Whispers erupted like wildfire, cousins exchanging shocked glances, aunts murmuring prayers under their breath. Marcus, frozen in place, stared back at Ethan with wide eyes, his usual easygoing smile replaced by a mask of confusion and something deeper, perhaps fear. Ethan's heart pounded as he scanned the faces around him. This wasn't how he had planned it. The confession was supposed to be private, a quiet moment between him and Marcus after years of suppressed feelings. But the pressure had built up like a pressure cooker. Family expectations, societal norms, the weight of living a lie in a world that demanded conformity. At 28, Ethan had spent his life playing the part of the perfect son, excelling in his job as a software engineer in Manhattan, attending church sporadically to appease his parents, dating women sporadically to maintain the facade. Marcus, his roommate and confidant since college, had been the one constant, the one person who made him feel alive without judgment. As the initial shock subsided, Robert stood up abruptly, his chair toppling backward. "What the hell is this, Ethan? Some kind of joke?" His voice boomed, drawing the attention of even the kids playing in the yard. Diane reached out to calm him, but her hand shook too much to make contact. "Robert, please," she whispered, but her eyes were on Ethan, pleading for him to take it back, to say it was a misunderstanding. Marcus finally spoke, his voice barely above a whisper. "Ethan, why here? Why now?" There was hurt in his tone, mixed with something Ethan couldn't quite place. Betrayal, maybe, or the dawning realization of unspoken truths. They had shared everything. Late-night talks about dreams, road trips across the country, even the grief of losing Ethan's grandmother last year. But this was the secret Ethan had buried deep, fearing it would ruin their friendship, fearing the rejection that now seemed inevitable. The family erupted into chaos. Ethan's sister, Laura, who had always been his ally, pulled him aside into the kitchen, her face a mix of concern and anger. "What were you thinking?" As the afternoon dragged on, relatives began to leave early, offering awkward goodbyes laced with discomfort. Uncle Frank, a devout Catholic, muttered something about praying for your soul as he hugged Diane goodbye. Ethan retreated to the porch, watching Marcus talk animatedly with Laura, probably trying to diffuse the tension. When Marcus finally approached, the sun was dipping low, casting long shadows that mirrored the darkness settling in Ethan's chest. "We need to talk," Marcus said, his expression unreadable. They walked to the edge of the property, where a small creek babbled innocently. "I had no idea, man. All these years." Marcus trailed off, kicking a pebble into the water. Ethan braced himself for the rejection, for the end of their bond. But Marcus surprised him. "I'm not saying I feel the same way, not yet, anyway, but I'm not running. This is a lot, though. Your family. They're not going to make this easy." Ethan nodded, relief washing over him like a brief rain, but it was short-lived. Back inside, Robert cornered him in the living room. "You've disgraced this family," he hissed, his face inches from Ethan's. "Do you know what this means? The church, our friends, they'll all know. And what about your job? People talk." Ethan's stomach churned. His father had always been the pillar of traditional values, raised in a time when men like Ethan were hidden or worse. The confrontation escalated, voices rising until Diane intervened, tears streaming down her face. "Please, both of you, stop. Ethan, we love you, but it's not what we raised you to be. That night, lying in his childhood bed, Ethan replayed the day in his mind. The confession had been a liberation, but it felt like opening Pandora's box. Marcus had left without a clear answer, promising to think things over. The family tension was palpable, a rift that might never heal. As sleep evaded him, Ethan wondered if his truth was worth the wreckage it caused. Little did he know, this was just the beginning. The storm was gathering, and the betrayals were yet to come. The days following the reunion blurred into a haze of awkward silences and pointed conversations. Ethan returned to his apartment in Manhattan, where the air between him and Marcus felt charged with unspoken words. They tiptoed around each other, Marcus burying himself in work as a graphic designer, while Ethan stared at his computer screen, coding lines that made no sense amid the turmoil in his head. The confession hung between them like a fragile bridge, one wrong step away from collapse. At work, rumors trickled in slowly. A colleague from the office, who was a distant cousin, had overheard whispers at the reunion and spread them like gossip fodder. Ethan's boss pulled him into a meeting, his tone laced with false concern. "Everything okay at home, Ethan? Heard there was some family drama." Ethan forced a smile, assuring him it was nothing, but inside, he seethed. The corporate world, with its veneer of inclusivity, still harbored undercurrents of judgment. He wondered if his promotion prospects were now tainted, if he'd be seen as that guy instead of the reliable engineer. Back home, Marcus finally broke the ice over takeout Chinese one evening. "Okay, let's address the elephant in the room," he said, setting down his chopsticks. "Your confession caught me off guard. I've always seen you as my brother, Ethan. But now, looking back, maybe there were signs I ignored." Ethan's heart raced. Was this acceptance? Hope flickered, but Marcus continued. "I'm straight, or at least I thought I was. But being around you, it's different. Confusing." They talked late into the night, dissecting their friendship, the moments of closeness that could be misinterpreted, or perhaps rightly interpreted. For the first time, Ethan felt seen, but the vulnerability terrified him. Meanwhile, the family fallout intensified. Diane called daily, her voice a mix of love and desperation. "We're trying to understand, honey. But your father, he's struggling. He thinks this is a phase, something from the city influencing you." Ethan bit back his frustration. It wasn't a phase. It was him. Laura, ever the mediator, organized a family dinner in hopes of reconciliation. But when Ethan arrived at his parents' house, the atmosphere was thick with tension. Robert sat at the head of the table, barely acknowledging him, while Diane fussed over the meal like it could fix everything. During dinner, the dam broke. Robert slammed his fist on the table. "How could you do this to us? Parading your lifestyle in front of everyone. What about grandchildren? What about our legacy?" Ethan's face burned. "This isn't about you, Dad. It's about me living honestly." The argument escalated, old wounds reopening. Robert's strict upbringing, his expectations for Ethan to follow in his footsteps. Laura tried to intervene, but Robert turned on her. "You knew, didn't you? And you didn't tell us?" Laura's eyes widened. "I suspected, but it wasn't my place." The betrayal stung Ethan. His sister had been his confidant, but now she was caught in the crossfire. As the night wore on, Marcus showed up unexpectedly, having been invited by Laura in a misguided attempt to show support. His presence only fueled Robert's anger. "So this is the one? The reason my son's throwing his life away?" Marcus stood his ground. "Sir, with all due respect, Ethan's not throwing anything away. He's being brave." The words hung heavy, and for a moment, silence reigned. But Robert's response was cutting. "Brave? It's selfish. You're encouraging this madness." Ethan defended Marcus, but the damage was done. Robert stormed out, leaving Diane in tears. In the aftermath, Ethan and Marcus drove back to the city in silence.
"I'm sorry, Ethan mattered."
"I dragged you into this." Marcus glanced at him, a small smile breaking through. "Hey, we're in this together now, right?" That night, As they sat on the couch watching a mindless movie, Marcus reached for Ethan's hand. It was tentative, exploratory, but it sent a jolt through Ethan. Was this the start of something? Or just pity? The next week brought more complications. Ethan's cousin, Jake, a vocal conservative on social media, posted a veiled rant about family values being eroded by modern perversions. It went viral in their extended circle, drawing lines in the sand. Friends from childhood unfriended Ethan online, while others sent messages of support. The societal pressure weighed on him. The stares at work, the whispers in the neighborhood. He began questioning his decision. Was coming out worth alienating everyone? Then came the ultimate blow. Laura called, her voice breaking. Dad's had a heart scare. The doctor says stress triggered it. Guilt crashed over Ethan like a wave. Had his confession caused this? He rushed to the hospital, where Robert lay pale in the bed. "This is on you," Robert whispered when they were alone. "Your choices are killing me." Ethan left the room shattered, the weight of his father's words etching deep into his soul. As he sat in the waiting area, Marcus arrived, wrapping him in a hug. "It's not your fault," he said firmly. But Ethan wasn't so sure. The conflicts were mounting, and the price of his truth was steeper than he imagined. Weeks turned into months, and the rift in Ethan's family deepened like a chasm that no bridge could span. Robert's health scare became a weapon in their arguments, a constant reminder of the stress Ethan's revelation had inflicted. Diane oscillated between pleading for Ethan to reconsider and moments of quiet acceptance, sending him articles about conversion therapy, disguised as helpful resources. Ethan deleted them unread, but each one chipped away at his resolve. At home, things with Marcus evolved tentatively. What started as hand-holding progressed to shared glances and late-night confessions. "I think I might be bi," Marcus admitted one evening over wine. "Or at least curious about us." Ethan's heart soared, but doubt lingered. Was Marcus genuine? Or was this a reaction to the chaos? Their first kiss happened on a rainy night, soft and exploratory, filled with the promise of something real. But joy was fleeting. Societal whispers intruded even here. Neighbors raised eyebrows at their closeness, and Marcus's co-workers joked about his new roommate dynamic. The turning point came at a company event where Ethan worked. He invited Marcus as his plus one, a bold step toward normalcy. But when a senior executive, overhearing their conversation, made a snide remark about diversity hires, Ethan's blood boiled. He confronted the man, defending his identity, but it backfired. The next day, his performance review cited interpersonal conflicts, jeopardizing his career stability. "See what happens when you push too hard?" Robert said over the phone, his voice smug despite his frailty. Ethan hung up, furious at the world's resistance. Laura, feeling the strain, organized a secret meeting with Ethan and Marcus at a neutral cafe in the suburbs. "We need to heal this family," she urged. But as they talked, revelations surfaced. Laura confessed she had been the one to tell Jake about the confession, hoping he'd offer spiritual guidance. "I thought it would help," she said tearfully. Ethan felt betrayed anew. "You exposed me to judgment. How could you?" The meeting ended in shouts, Laura storming out, leaving Ethan questioning blood ties. Marcus, witnessing it all, grew distant. "This is too much," he admitted one night. "Your family's tearing you apart, and I'm in the middle." Ethan panicked. "Don't leave me now." But Marcus needed space, moving out temporarily to a friend's place. Alone in the apartment, Ethan spiraled. He attended a support group for LGBTQ individuals, sharing his story amid nods of understanding. One member, an older man named Tom, warned him, "Coming out isn't just about you. It's a ripple effect. Some relationships survive, others don't." The moral dilemmas piled up. Should Ethan retract his truth to save his father's health? Apologize to Laura for the fallout? Pursue Marcus at the risk of pressuring him? Each choice felt like a minefield. Then, a call from Diane. "Your father's disinviting you from the annual family vacation unless you come alone, without Marcus." It was an ultimatum, forcing Ethan to choose between love and family. He chose Marcus, showing up at his friend's door with a plea. "I need you. Let's make this work." Marcus hesitated but agreed, and they reconciled with a deeper commitment. But the victory was Pyrrhic. Robert's response was swift. A letter disowning Ethan, cutting financial ties and emotional bonds. "Until you straighten out, you're no son of mine." The words seared Ethan's soul, triggering nights of insomnia and doubt. Society's backlash amplified the pain. An online article about family values in crisis, inspired by Jake's posts, mentioned Ethan anonymously but recognizably. Strangers messaged hate, while allies offered hollow support. Ethan confronted Jake at a family gathering he wasn't invited to but crashed anyway. "You turned my life into a spectacle," he accused. Jake defended himself. "I'm protecting our heritage. This isn't natural." The argument turned physical, cousins separating them, deepening divisions. Through it all, Marcus stood by, but cracks showed. "Sometimes I wonder if we're worth all this," he confided. Ethan reassured him, but internally he questioned everything. The awakenings were brutal. Realizing family's love was conditional, society's acceptance superficial, and love's path fraught with sacrifice. As winter set in, Ethan faced his reflection, wondering if the man staring back was stronger or just more broken. Spring brought tentative renewal, but for Ethan, it was a season of reckoning. With Marcus back in the apartment, they navigated their relationship like sailors in stormy seas. Moments of calm interspersed with waves of doubt. Therapy became their anchor. Joint sessions revealed Marcus's internal conflict. "I love you, Ethan, but I never imagined this life. The judgment, the isolation." Ethan nodded, sharing his own fears. "What if I'm forcing you into something you're not ready for?" The family schism reached a boiling point when Laura announced her engagement. The invitation arrived with a note. "Please come, but respect Dad's wishes. No +1." It was a dagger to Ethan's heart. He debated attending, weighing loyalty against self-respect. Marcus encouraged him. "Go. Show them you're still family." But Ethan saw it as capitulation. In the end, he RSVP'd yes, alone, a decision that gnawed at him. At the engagement party in a quaint venue outside Albany, tensions simmered. Robert ignored Ethan, while Diane hugged him tightly, whispering, "We miss you." Laura pulled him aside. "I'm sorry for everything, but Dad's set in his ways." Ethan exploded quietly. "And you're enabling him. By excluding Marcus, you're choosing sides." Laura's eyes filled with tears. "It's my day. I don't want drama." The hypocrisy stung. Ethan's truth was drama, but their denial was normal? During toasts, Ethan raised his glass, his voice steady. "To love in all its forms. May we all find acceptance." The room hushed. Robert's glare could cut glass. Later, Jake cornered Ethan. "You're poisoning this family." Ethan retorted, "No, intolerance is the poison." The exchange escalated, drawing attention, until Laura intervened, asking Ethan to leave. Humiliated, he drove home, the rejection fueling a fire within. Marcus waited up, concern etched on his face. "How bad?" Ethan broke down, sobbing about the lost connections. "They're my blood, but they treat me like a stranger." Marcus held him, but the embrace felt strained. The next day, Marcus confessed, "I met someone, a woman from work. Nothing happened, but it made me question if I'm truly ready for this." Betrayal sliced through Ethan. "So you're bailing? After everything?" Marcus denied it, but the seed of doubt was planted. Moral quandris intensified. Ethan considered cutting ties entirely, but guilt over Robert's health held him back. He visited the hospital unannounced during a checkup, finding his father alone. "Dad, I didn't choose this to hurt you." Robert's eyes softened momentarily. "Son, I raised you better." But then hardness returned. Change or stay away. Ethan left, torn between defiance and despair. Society's mirror reflected harshly. At a pride event in the city, Ethan marched with Marcus, feeling empowered amid the crowds. But a counter-protester shouted slurs, reminding him of the world's ugliness. Back home, Marcus distanced himself further, spending nights out. Ethan suspected the worst, confronting him. "Are you seeing her?" Marcus admitted to a date. "I needed to know." The admission shattered Ethan. The man he loved was wavering, perhaps always had. In a moment of clarity, Ethan demanded honesty. "Choose us or your doubts." Marcus chose them, vowing commitment, but trust was fractured. Laura's wedding approached, and Ethan decided to attend with Marcus, defying the ultimatum. "This is who I am," he told Diane over the phone. She begged him not to. "It'll ruin the day." But Ethan persisted, a stand for his truth. The wedding day dawned tense. As they arrived, whispers followed. Robert approached, face thunderous. "Leave now." Ethan stood firm. "I'm here for Laura." The ceremony proceeded awkwardly, but during the reception, Robert pulled Marcus aside. "You're destroying my son." Marcus fired back. "No, you're the one hurting him." The confrontation spilled over, guests watching as family secrets aired. Laura, in her white dress, confronted Ethan. "Why couldn't you just comply?" Ethan replied, "Because compliance means erasure." She slapped him lightly, tears flowing. A betrayal from his closest sibling. The night ended in chaos. Police called to escort disruptors. Ethan and Marcus left, the family bond irreparably damaged. In the car, silence reigned. Ethan realized the cost. Isolation, but also freedom. Awakenings dawned. He was stronger alone than diminished in conformity. But as Marcus gripped the wheel, Ethan wondered if their love could survive the wreckage. The aftermath of the wedding was a scorched earth of relationships. Laura stopped speaking to Ethan, her honeymoon overshadowed by the drama. Diane's calls dwindled to occasional check-ins, laced with sorrow. Robert, true to form, solidified his stance, changing his will to exclude Ethan, a final act of rejection. Ethan grieved the loss, therapy sessions filled with tears and rage. "They chose tradition over me," he told his counselor. "But was I wrong to force the issue?" Marcus threw himself into their relationship, perhaps out of guilt. They planned a getaway to the Catskills, hoping nature would heal. Amid hiking trails and quiet evenings, they reconnected, sharing dreams of a future unburdened by others' opinions. "We'll build our own family," Marcus said, his hand in Ethan's. For a while it felt possible, love conquering all. But cracks reemerged. Marcus's family, upon learning of their relationship, reacted with mild disapproval. His mother, a liberal academic, said, "It's unexpected, but we'll adjust." Yet Marcus internalized it, questioning his path. At work, he faced subtle discrimination, jokes about his lifestyle change. It wore on him, leading to arguments with Ethan. "You don't get it," Marcus snapped one night. "I didn't sign up for this fight." Ethan retorted, "Neither did I, but here we are." The ultimate betrayal came unexpectedly. Ethan discovered texts on Marcus's phone. From the woman at work. "Miss our talks," one read. Confronted, Marcus broke. "I kissed her. I'm sorry, but I'm not sure I'm gay or bi. Maybe I was just confused." The words eviscerated Ethan. All the sacrifices, the family estrangement, career risks, for a love that wasn't real? "You used me," Ethan accused, voice trembling. Marcus denied it. "I thought I could make it work. For you." They parted amid heartbreak, Marcus moving out for good. Alone again, Ethan faced the void. He threw himself into activism, volunteering at LGBTQ centers, channeling pain into purpose. There, he met others with similar stories, tales of rejection, resilience, and rebirth. It awakened him to the broader struggle. Societal norms that forced conformity, families bound by outdated morals. Months later, a reconciliation attempt came from Laura. Pregnant now, she reached out. "I want my child to know their uncle." They met at a park, tentative hugs exchanged. "I'm sorry," she said. "I was scared." Ethan forgave, but boundaries remained. "Accept all of me or nothing." Robert, through Diane, sent a message. "Come home, but alone." Ethan declined, choosing self-worth over conditional love. Reflecting on the journey, Ethan pondered the choices. His confession had sparked chain reactions, betrayals from family, Marcus's indecision, his own damages. But it also brought awakenings. The strength in authenticity, the pain of growth. He dated again cautiously, finding solace in community. As he stood at a rally, banner in hand, Ethan felt a bittersweet peace. The world was changing slowly, but his path had been a battlefield. In quiet moments, he questioned the ethics. Was forcing truth upon the unwilling righteous or selfish? The debates raged in his mind, mirroring society's divides. In the end, Ethan's story was one of profound loss and tentative gain, a testament to the human cost of living openly in a world still grappling with acceptance. But was his bold confession the catalyst for necessary change, or a reckless act that inflicted unnecessary suffering on those he loved?